Isaac.
That conversation a lot. I love it when Isaac joins us. Isaac's such a genius. He's so smart that he actually is the perfect moderator, man. Not on, like, he's so smart about the topic and he doesn't show his biases clearly immediately. He's like calm with it and he's so cool. Like, I really like when he's in the conversation. It really elevates the conversation. And he actually challenges me, heavy challenges me every time. Every time he asks me questions about these examples and analogies, it takes me a second to understand them because it's actually stuff I've never heard before. This is actually a person that's intellectual, that actually understands the studies he studied.
Quick, click on this link. We can change. Subscribed right there where you can change Isaac. I don't know what you want to go by, but it's because your name shows up as Isaac, but
Fuck. I would say I'm your pretty average political commentator. I've dyed my hair. I was almost canceled. I've called out racism.
Hey, Journal, turn around. If you're racist.
I have given presentations. The end of my presentation on why emo women are superior. Any questions? With that being said, moving forward, I did realize that they kind of evaded the point to not use my name, and then every stream I've been on in the past few days, they've used my name because I stupidly left my Discord as my name, but since it's kind of already out there, there's no reason to not use it anymore. Anyway, here's a bonus clip.
Yeah, but you just said lying is bad because it's bad for society. Now you're saying trans movement is good because it helps the trans. So you're not even looking at society anymore.
Well, there's like a social, like, I believe in some sort of social contract to where, like, us as a society
do you see what I'm coming from, guys?
Things that we're not gonna do, like lying.
Because
or
society
like
has been successful for millions of years because technology came along to allow trans, and now it's on the decline.
Lol. Personal
Cause for
liberty
462,
that
do you see where I'm coming
interfere
from?
with the social contract. So like trans people are like, they're fine because it's not interfering with anybody. They're just doing what they like. They're just helping themselves.
Okay. But yeah, they're helping themselves in the cost of society. At the cost of society, exactly
I don't think
what
they're
lying
costing society.
So that means you're going to be able to prove at some point in your society that lying is good for you, even at the cost of your society. See what I'm talking about? Subjective morality.
No, because lying is
whereas
part of the
objective
social
morality, I can
contract.
never prove that killing a baby in the middle of a war zone is a good thing, no matter how much, because it's already been told to me by objective morality it's bad. That's it. Whereas you can actually switch that stance and be like, well, yeah, we might have to kill babies because it's a war zone. We need to get rid of these guys quickly. Well, for me, my moral compass tells me you never can kill a baby, no matter how much it helps society or whatever the hell you're talking about, happiness principle or harm.
Well, I don't think killing a baby would really most likely ever help a society.
Well,
let's say.
They're proving it. They're proving it in Gaza. They're proving in Gaza.
Wait. Let's say
we can kill these
baby.
babies
Let's
because
say
it's
that
a war
there's a
zone.
baby.
No, let me
No,
finish. Let me finish. They keep saying we can kill these babies because this is a war zone. That's what they keep saying. So to them, it's bettering their society to kill these other babies. Shut the fuck up. Let me finish the sentence.
Oh my god.
Bitch, let me finish my sentence, man. They're killing the babies and they're saying it betters their society if they kill these babies. They just destroyed your argument. What did you got?
Well, no, it's probably, I'd have to see what you're talking about exactly, and two,
you don't know that they've justified killing the babies in Palestine and Gaza. You don't know that. You don't know that they're justifying it because of October 7th?
The assumption I'm gonna say right now is that this was probably a press conference with some higher up in the IDF.
No.
Okay,
That's you're wrong. This is a real thing. I've studied it. They are justifying every time you ask what about the 30,000? Every time you say what about the 30,000?
Wait, so it's nothing. So it wasn't actually official. It was just, oh my god.
Because you only look at official statements to know and recognize the truth of the matter of the world, right? Because
Well, no,
because
you'd have to-
Balfour
you'd have to
Declaration
see
because the Balfour
intention, and
Declaration
that would
has to
be-
say in it because the Balfour Declaration has to say
I don't
in
know
it.
why we're talking about the Balfour
Let me finish my sentence.
Declaration.
Let me
We're
finish
talking
my
about the
sentence.
fucking
Because the
war on
Balfour
Hamas.
Declaration has to say in it to kick out the Palestinian people from Palestine for you to actually believe, oh, they're trying to kick out the people of Palestine. It doesn't just have to say Palestine should be the
They wanted to
Jewish
kick out the
state.
people of Palestine even though they limited Jewish immigration into the area?
Huh? When they did that, the British got kicked out. What are you talking about? When, the moment they stopped the expansion, the British got kicked out and the UN partition started. What are you talking about?
No,
Also,
they
Israel
stopped.
Israel's a
Okay,
horrible
sorry.
example because Israel's morality is based on religion, not objective morality.
No. The,
Well,
the Supreme
Israel-
Court. No.
Yeah,
First of all,
I
they're a
mean, yeah.
liberal democracy. Don't act like they're not. Okay. First of all, everybody says they're a liberal democracy.
And like the
So they're
original
actually
Zionists in the
secular
cookbook
when it comes
says
to those
they were
laws.
secular.
When it comes to the laws on the land and wars, they're secular. They're liberal democracy. Now we switched, huh? Now they're a religious democracy. But
I'm
listen,
just saying that was the argument you made in the debate with Warrior was that that's where their laws came from and that's like where the policies were discrimination against Palestinians. I was just making your point that you made before.
No, I think maybe that point I was making was that because Israel rules the Gazans. I don't know. Anyways, I don't remember that point. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is Israel justifies because they're liberal law. They justify murdering babies. They justify doing anything they need to take. They justify breaking laws. Like they justify settlers. They're justifying settlements. Is this in the religious law of the Judaism? No, this is just
settlers
another
are
secular.
fucking crazy. The settlers
Wait,
are
can't you-
religious.
Isn't it the
crazy
same about
motherfuckers.
Hamas? Doesn't Hamas also? I mean, I'm not gonna like do
Yeah,
the
but
like
Hamas
beheaded
will never
babies,
kill
but
babies, and they can never justify.
You don't think- wait, you
they
don't
can
think
never say
they've
now
ever
we can
killed a
kill
baby?
Israeli
Hamas did
babies
go and kill
because we're dying. They
civilians.
can never say that. They're always gonna say we're gonna kill the Israeli IDF, but they're never gonna say now we can kill Israeli babies.
Well,
They'll
they
never be able
killed
to do that.
random Israeli civilians. Didn't
And
they?
if any Palestinian supports the Hamas going after Israeli citizens, they
when
know they can't
Hamas
support
bombs
that.
Israel, do you think they like take like a checklist and make sure there's no babies in the area they're bombing?
Look, I agree. Citizens are casualties and they happen, but that's not their aim. Whereas in Israel, what's happening right now, that's the aim. The aim is to go after actual
aim is to
Palestinian
kill
civilians
babies?
and to reduce those civilian resident
What's the
areas.
proof?
Can I finish a sentence? I'm gonna kick you off if you keep talking in the middle of
Okay, sorry.
I'm talking. You can wait till I finish. I'm talking to Isaac. So in Hamas, they never actually changed their charter and say, okay, now we can murder Israeli citizens because of the atrocities that happened on October 14th or whatever it is. Whereas in Judaism, in Israel right now, every single political person, every time they come up on stage and talk, they say, what do you mean? Do we not have a right to defend ourselves? This is justified because of October 7th. So they changed their morality because of it's subjective. They changed it because of something that happened to them, and they switched that morality. Now they can do whatever they want to the Palestinians. When before October 7th they couldn't.
But kind of isn't that kind of the same for Hamas, where like Hamas could just say the same thing?
Hamas
Hey, we're
is
defending
always-
ourselves
always-
against.
Hamas is
I know what
always
I'm saying
gonna
is
go
like
after
they can just
Israelis.
say, "Hey, we're defending ourselves against the settlers." Of course, like we know we bombed areas with babies and killed them, but hey, we were defending ourselves. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, but if Hamas has killed 30,000 babies, Hamas would not be the state that rules Palestine. Whereas Israel, the IDF can kill 30,000 people and still rule the Israelis because the Israelis are condoning those atrocities, whereas the Palestinians would never condone those atrocities. The Palestinians only recognize Hamas
didn't-
for what it is because it's the resisting force. There's the second Hamas goes against their morality, they're going to kick Hamas out. They're not going to accept it. It's exactly like what ISIS did with Syria. The second they ruin their this different morality, they don't accept them anymore. They kick them out of that faction.
Well, the morality right now is that they want to fight, right?
Yeah,
Like
but they're
most
not fighting the
Palestinians in
babies
the
and the
Gaza Strip.
residents. They're fighting anybody in the any settlers that are settling
Well,
in
they-
illegal lands. That's their
they
right.
fought-
Their right is to fight into illegal settlements. Yes.
They fought civilians at a concert.
Yeah. Okay. So by the way, I had reports. I heard reports that concert was created. It was in an illegal settlement area. First of all, so it's in contented lands. So it's not
Wait,
Israel.
I
So they
don't
did not
know.
go
I
to
don't even
Israel.
think-
Wait a minute.
Are
Can
there
I finish?
settlements in Gaza? There aren't. I don't
All
So
I'm
whenever
saying
he
is-
says
all
illegal
I'm saying- it wasn't in
territories,
Gaza, it was in
it's
front of
all
us.
Yeah.
over Israel, right?
yes, so
Okay.
illegally any war, you cannot claim any land from war. Okay, that is a UN law. The problem with that law is that they don't prosecute it at all. Every time a country gains land, that's what they do it from is war, right? Like if Russia claimed Kiev tomorrow, the UN's not going to give a fuck. Okay,
Yeah,
they don't
and
prosecute
then-
that law. But technically, he's right that there is illegal land.
Yeah, basically Hamas actually legally have the authority to resist because that is their land. They feel like they're being occupied and now they're resisting. Now if you
Wait,
tell
when
me,
was the
let me
last-
finish a fucking sentence, you fucking bitch! Now if you tell me they're getting up and running into people's houses and murdering their mothers and daughters, I'll tell you, go fuck yourself, Hamas. But show me proof of that. You're not, all you're showing me is proof of them fighting IDF soldiers.
What about when they bomb Israel?
Well, that's like a posturing. That's a posturing because they know none of it lands, and even when it does land, it doesn't do as much damage. And it's like one of the least acts of resistance they can do. I think it's more posturing. than
Bombing is the
actually
least
trying to create harm.
act of resistance you can do.
It's one of the smallest things to posturing to keep
Gandhi
keep
fought
IDF on their toes.
Gandhi fought all of the British RAJ by not eating food, and you're telling me that's the least act of resistance you can do violence-wise?
Oh, so Hamas are what? They're gonna strike out of you? No,
There's
but
ways to resist that don't involve violence. But I
no,
listen,
they
let me
tried
give you
to
this.
do that. They tried to do that. Now
yeah.
the solution is out of the window. Now they're
I know, I agree with you,
posturing-
yeah.
Now they're posturing as an entity you do not want to fuck with, and they understand the Iron Dome is shooting most of these guns down. And anyways, when they shoot these missiles down, they're shooting in contested territories also.
Well, some of the missiles they shoot, they don't have the accuracy of them. Like a lot of them are
You're
like
right,
what
you're
from
right.
like water pipes, yeah. But I do agree with you though. I do think not Israel. I do think Palestine or Hamas, technically, if you want to get like very into it, I do think they have a right to fight back, and they did fight back, and they've lost.
Okay,
They
yeah,
lost.
yeah. So yeah, but if you tell me the way they fought back is by going to kill, murdering daughters and mothers and children, I do no, we do not agree. Whereas for you guys, for some reason, you guys are
But they did do
accepting that Israel does that to others. I don't know how.
But they've also done that. That's the thing.
Yeah, but they do that. But that's not
just a casualty of war.
But it's very
Well, no,
rare,
Israel
and
doesn't
it's a mistake. Whereas there's no way you can tell me Israel is making a mistake. If they do it, it's because there's tensions, high tensions, extreme stress moments.
doesn't
It's everything is decided
they
within a
don't.
moment. But
Israel
whereas
doesn't
Israel
intentionally
is literally
Oh, yeah,
planning the
me neither.
bombs. They're have you seen my last video, Isaac? They're following the boys. They follow 4 kids, blow them up. Another guy looks at hears a noise, comes out of his house. He sees that the 4 kids blow up, start running away. They go and get him and blow him up. His brother sees him that he just got blew up. He starts crawling to him. They blow up the guy. I just made a video about that. This is planned. They're planning. If you tell me Hamas is looking at 4 kids, they're waiting for them to walk and then start shooting them. Then they go shoot their brother. Then they go shoot their sisters. I would be like, fuck Hamas. They're the worst thing in the world. But you guys actually condone what the Israelis are doing.
My problem though is I agree with you, right? That Hamas has a right to fight, right? But they fought in there was a fight between Arabs and Israel in 1948. There was a fight in the Arab-Israel War. There was a fight in the 1982 in Lebanon War. There was a fight in the First Intifada. There was a fight in the Second Intifada. There was a fight in 2006. There was a fight in 2008. There was a fight in 2014. And now there's one in 2021 going all the way to now.
Yep.
How many times are they allowed to fight and kill civilians before they have to make some sort of peace arrangement?
That's what I said last time.
So they don't, when they fight, they're not after civilians. They're after the politicians that are ruining their lives. They're after the IDF operations.
I would believe you if they weren't bombing civilian territories.
Okay.
they're
Can
after
you
the
show me the
country of
recent
Israel.
proof? I want to see the most recent reports of these bombing. I want to know exactly where they're bombing. Are they bombing into? I know they used to bomb into Israel. Now I want to know: are they still bombing into Israel? The actual Jerusalem?
They're dummy bombs.
I don't know if they bomb into Jerusalem. Like I don't think they bomb into Jerusalem. I don't think they said they're bombing into these areas where there's shops and stuff. I think they bomb into like. Bases where they believe there's bases. I think they bomb into where there's settlements, but I don't think they're bombing into the actual Jerusalem. Can you show me any reports they actually bombed to like Jerusalem or anything like that? Like
If I looked for it, I probably could. But what I will say is the bombs they use are called dummy bombs because they don't have any actually accuracy. They're more just kind of thrown into a general area, so they don't actually have control over precisely hitting strike like
So
that,
you
so they
agree with
can't
me? It's a
aim.
posturing movement. They know the Iron Dome is going to drop it down. They just keep it up, so the IDF doesn't
Well,
mess
they
with them. It's
want
not because they're
could
trying to
be.
kill citizens.
Listen, it could be, but if someone points a gun at me and I'm wearing Kevlar armor, just because I'm wearing Kevlar armor, that's still not a threat.
Yeah, but if the guy already pointed a gun at you, would you not shoot at least around him so you can scare him, so he can run away from?
I mean,
or
it's
so
your
he can
choice.
give you a
Personally,
moment
I'm
so you
aiming for
can
the
run?
center mass.
Well, if he shoots me in the leg, then I'm not then I'm gonna shoot him back, right? Like after he pointed the gun at me and shot me, then
Yeah,
I'm
but that's a
gonna have to
very,
shoot
you don't want to
back.
get into that. That conversation alone could take like 12 hours.
Yeah,
Who
that's-
made the first escalation is like one of the most conflicting things about that. I do agree you could
Well,
have a
we're
point,
at the
but that's a
point,
whole
like,
thing.
We're talking about October 7th, like right now, like
True, but
all the
before
way
October
back, like,
7th,
all
there
the way,
was
all the way back, like it gets complicated.
yeah,
with
yeah.
buying land from the Ottoman Empire.
Claus
like,
says, how did Israel
like,
even
was it
allow
right? Was
Hamas
it-
to
yeah.
attack them?
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, you don't.
When
I'm
they
just
have
saying
the
you
most
don't want to do that
sophisticated defense
argument.
system in the world.
But I'm talking
Too
about
much.
just
Something really
October
sour
7th
about all of it.
specifically
I agree,
going
Cons.
after Hamas.
It's clear. It's clear what they're doing.
The problem
They're
with
just
that though
using
is
them
you're
to
kind of
agitate
taking a
more
very
warfare.
nuanced look at it, where like let's say like Israel killed like this many Palestinians the day before.
It's clear Israel uses Hamas to agitate
Well,
more
then
warfare,
that would be.
more
Well,
crimes
then that
against,
would be like.
more crimes
then-
against
well,
more crimes against the Palestinians.
It's not just like then. October 7th would have been a reaction to something that just happened, right? October 7th wasn't a reaction to anything. It was just a random attack.
It was a reaction of against Israel oppression, which is if you are
Well, it's really
pro-Palestinian, you think
general-
that's
that
always
was general
happened.
Israel oppression, but like nothing was actually like happening. That was just like the status quo.
Well, they were still
True,
taking land.
but
They were still
if
What
you're
it would
settling.
have been better for Hamas to do is actually negotiate for a peace deal, not just attack a civilian concert. Like I
No,
don't.
no, Slad. Do you actually know the history of the conflict? Do you know how many peace talks have happened?
Yeah, do you know how many times
Palestine has walked away.
Palestinians have
Okay,
walked-
can I
yeah.
tell you guys?
Remember
Can I
Arafat
tell you something?
in
Why
the
did the
Taba Summit, I
Jewish
think? Or
Why
the
did the
Clinton parameters?
Jewish militias and settlers in 1938 kick out the British when they told them we don't want a dual state, we want a one-state solution? Because the second
did
they
they
felt the
accept
treatment, because
the
the
partition
second they
plan?
felt the treatment of the Palestinians and how the Palestinians felt treated, they immediately understood the injustice of it, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of our country! We're not gonna allow this ever!" And then they started killing fucking British and Palestinians, and the Brits ran away. Why would they do that? Because they recognize that extreme injustice happening to the Palestinians, and they did not want that to happen to them. How can a Palestinian see his land? Imagine this: a settler colonial come to you, tells you, "Okay, today this is 45% yours and 55% mine, and I'm supposed to agree with this." This is how am I supposed to agree with this? Even the Israelis did not agree to a one-state solution when the British gave it to them, and instead they revolted and kicked the British out and forced the UN to partition the country. How are you? How these are the settlers that didn't accept? How about the actual people of the land? How are they supposed to accept something like that?
You're completely right. So what they do is they fight back. But then after they lose fighting back, that's when you have to actually, I'm not saying you have to take it, but you do have to try to reach some sort of peace where you do have to give that up because you did that attempt and you failed.
See, that's a
you
different
fought back,
argument.
like-
Yeah.
Because think about this on Israel's side. If Israel killed every single Palestinian after the 6-day war, this wouldn't be an argument, right? This wouldn't be a current day discussion. If they did do the most evil thing that was like
I know,
an
but I
opportunity to
kind
them.
of relate this back to South Africa. It's almost like saying, well, the South Africans, the second they lost, they should have just stopped fighting, agreed to all these terms of apartheid, and just follow along so they can stop losing more of their lands or getting hurt more. Because you know what I mean? You might as well just don't fight at all. Just accept whatever was given to you.
there wasn't-
And then just live in this apartheid state for the rest of your life.
There wasn't a
Even
a
if I
black
lose the war, I'm
government
still
that
gonna
there wasn't a
resist it.
black government that could argue for the black people to make a new state. That the new state is the ultimate goal.
Also, the problem
in
with that
Palestine.
is, hypothetically, if I was going to engage in that argument, I would make the point of that's the difference between, though, a state that is under two parties between a land that is heavily disputed on who owns the land, right? Those are two different situations.
Yeah, well, I can argue against that too. I can argue that Israel owns both those lands. Israel owns.
Well, then, if you're saying that, then Israel has the right to do what they want, with them, right? If they own the land.
How? That means the South African apartheid had the right to do anything they wanted to the blacks there.
Yeah, if they own the land, then
The whole point is that
Indiscriminately bombing is probably
yeah, the point with that, the reason that there was
nice.
apartheid in South Africa was because the ethnic minority was trying to become the ethnic majority when it comes to power by doing top-down laws, and they were trying to
Exactly.
discriminate with them. But it was for the intent that they were trying to create a top-down government, right? If you own your land and you are the majority and you make claims and you make your government structured more heavily towards that, that's perfectly legal. You see that with the UAE, right? In the UAE, if you're an Arab, you have to be Muslim legally in that state, right?
Yeah,
Because
but the
that's-
UAE
it's their
did
state
not
to choose.
come. The UAE did not come and steal the land from other UAE members. The UAE,
Ooh, I don't know.
the
Is that
UAE
true?
kept the people in the land and gave them that right, and then anybody knew they lose that right. Whereas the people, so basically, what you're saying is, imagine after American colonialism won the war in America and took over America, they made the Native Americans second class instead of lifting them up to fix their apartheid and their colonialism. And that's what they had to do. They had to actually lift them up and protect them as a class because of all the crimes they did to them. Instead, what they should have done, what you're arguing for, is they should have dropped them down to second classes and took away their homes, took away their rights, because they lost the war. That's literally what you're arguing.
No, they should have done exactly what happened. Make them citizens and just incorporate them.
No, they had to protect
No,
them.
that's not
Native
exactly what
They had
they
to
did.
protect them. They had to protect
Exactly
them
what
as
they
justices.
did, yeah. Exactly what
They
they did is what he
moved
just
them.
described. They did.
Well, they
There's the
moved
march
them.
of what is it? The March of Tears, the Trail of Tears. That's what it is, right?
They moved them to Indian.
Actually, it's a
They're
very-
on Indian reservations, but
It's
there
really
are
funny.
like, it is. They are more integrated than like, Palace like.
Also, what you're saying they shouldn't have done is exactly what they did, right? Like they moved them out of their land. They moved them into a very small area that they all couldn't be sustained in. Isn't that kind of like one for one what's
Yeah, but
going
then
on
they
in Israel right
protected
now?
them. They protected them because they realized the injustices they did to them because they were colonizing forces. Of course, they did that.
Kind
But
of,
then
but when you say that-
to save face, instead of putting them as second-class citizens and keep them down and keep them shoved down, instead they started doing the propaganda. Oh, well, these are their reservoirs. These are actually sacred places, so we believe in their sacredity. So this is all yours, and you guys are protected. Wherever you want to buy a house, come to us. We'll give it to you. Just please don't kick us. Don't tell us don't say that we did crimes against you. That's all. That's what I saw it as.
Yeah, the problem with that is that, yeah, you're saying we gave them a little bit of land, but technically they owned like all of the land, right?
Yeah, today you protected them. Now they can own any piece of land, and their sacred lands are protected. That's what they should be doing to the Gaza. Instead, they're doing the opposite.
Their
That's my
sacred
argument.
land
My
was all
argument
of
is, imagine
America, though.
America, after the atrocities they did to the Native Americans, immediately they started shoving them as second classes instead of protecting them. So at least America fixed what they did was they protected that class. Now in Gaza, they're not protecting them. They forced them down, and now they're completely kicking them out. The question is, why is Egypt not taking them? Anytime you tell me another country came in, took over land, and kicked out the people, and I'm supposed to support that country, I don't agree with that at all.
Are you saying that Israel should have done what U.S. did with Native Americans?
Look,
Because what U.S.
this
did
what I'm
is
saying. I'm
barely
saying if
close to
Israel-
what Israel has done.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying is if Israel wants to be the ruling force and wants to be the ruling government, they cannot subjugate the Gazans as second and third class citizens. They have to lift them up above the new citizens they're bringing in. That's my argument. Yes.
The problem with that, though, is that's not what we did in America.
That's exactly what we did in America.
We
because-
took all of their land, gave them small reservoirs where they could live legally and do what they wanted to, and we couldn't interfere. But if they came out of those reservoirs, the U.S. government had full control over them on land that it was theirs, but we take it over by force, right?
Yeah, but do you agree with me that America, that was wrong, right?
Of course, but what
Okay,
you're
so
saying
yeah,
is that what they did is what Israel should have done, but what they
Exactly.
did is very close to what Israel did,
No,
right? They gave
I'm taking it to there. I'm taking it, let's say, after 100 years, you know what I mean? After 100 years of this conflict, like basically what you're saying is, you're right, America did something wrong. I agree with you. Now we're looking, Israel's doing the same wrong. You guys are actually condoning it and using the same arguments. I'm actually telling you, look, they did wrong. They recognize they did wrong, and to fix it, after they took all their lands, they started protecting those lands, and then they gave them more rights. Instead, you're arguing, well, that's fine, you're right, America did something wrong, now Israel is doing the same wrong, and but this time, these people should just leave because they should, they lost the war, and now they should just recognize that Israel is the ruling party, and Israel doesn't have to give them any rights, even though they were the people that they stole the land from. Like, imagine that we did that in America, we would not allow that. So why are we
It's
allowing
exactly
that?
what we
What's the
did.
worry? Well, not
Also-
we did, but we Native Americans have citizenship. Like they can get
Exactly, we
citizenship.
protected
True,
the
but this
Native
is-
Americans.
and the
Instead,
entirety
we're
of
getting
America
out
is
the
land they
Palestinians.
own.
The difference is that in Israel, like there's a pretty justifiable fear that the Palestinians would just like not fuck with the Israelis.
Like the Native Americans were murdering
No,
their
no, no, no.
colonial.
And then we put them down, and then we gave them land somewhere else.
Exactly, and that's what you're trying to do
And-
now
but if
here in
we-
Israel.
In a tiny country, Israel's a tiny fucking.
You guys
country.
recognize
I don't think the
Israel is
area.
colonial.
I don't think the area has.
Palestinians.
I know, but I don't think the amount of land
Well,
plays a
the-
point in the argument, right? I feel like that's just a weird kind of.
Well, you give them some. Well, he's saying give them like some land. I'm saying it's a tiny country, like enough Palestinians.
I think they
like,
gave them some
and-
land.
Well, there's like giving voting rights in some land in mainland Israel to some
And
Palestinians is gonna like the voting demographics are gonna worry Israelis. That's what I'm trying to say.
And unfortunately, that usually happens with war, is what we see, right? We usually see stuff like this happen where after a party wins a war, unfortunately, the party that lost usually has some concessions to make, whether it be removal from the entire area, whether it be the entire removal of that society as a whole. We see that happen. It's an unfortunate
I
fact
know.
of war,
That's
but Israel
amazing.
isn't the one who started the war.
That's amazing. So Isaac, you guys keep telling me you guys are the progressives and you guys evolve and your morality evolves.
I've never said I'm progressive. I just want to make that clear.
No. I'm talking about how you progress because you told me about evolving morality and the future is going to look a lot different. And so
True.
that's amazing because we always can recognize this was wrong. But there's no evolution. We just keep doing it over and over and over again. No new justification. The same old justifications. Well, what do you assume a colonial force that has insane amounts of money and power is going to do? It's just going to come and take over lands. Now, if you lose, get the fuck out. Like, there's no new solutions. There's no actual evolution in your moral compass here when it comes to these topics. Maybe you're evolving in the social cues. But are you guys actually evolving when it comes to war crimes and morality and actually bettering the world? Like, I'm not seeing
Yeah.
it. 'Cause we keep talking
Unfortunately,
about how the world used to look like trash and now it still is looking like trash.
unfortunately, that is just a fact of humanity, that we haven't found a better solution for war. We have been on this planet for I don't know how long. That's so different religions have different answers. I have my own answer, right? But we have been on this planet for a very long time, and we don't have that answer, right? We don't have a better answer for war. So when you say, yeah, how have you not evolved past it? I don't know how you evolve past show of force. There's a reason that always takes dominance in these situations, right?
And we are conducting war in a more humane
But
way.
you can agree.
If this was
True.
if this was the
I didn't even think about that.
1900s or the 1800s,
Palestine wouldn't be a
Israel
thing.
would have carpet bombed
Yeah.
Palestine. Like Palestine wouldn't like it would be complete and utter rubble.
There would be
right now.
mustard gas where Gaza currently is.
Yeah, like there would be nothing left.
I didn't think about that.
That's what they're doing. The only reason they can't do it is because they don't have actually the weapons and money to do it. Every
No,
time
they
empty bombs-
could.
No, they
Oh,
have
they
Every time they run
easily
out,
could.
they have to
the
buy new
money.
bombs.
It's because morality and war
No,
crimes.
they're
Isn't
emptying,
that
they're
how
emptying
it's
their
bad?
arsenal.
Them
No, they're
back.
emptying their arsenal.
I would say it's
no,
more
not
the
morality.
UN and general global places. I would
no,
say
no.
a lot of it is morality, but also they are being
Well, yeah,
held to a higher
I mean
standard.
morality of like
No, the
like,
only thing.
international law, like not.
Okay, I got you.
Isaac, the only
Yeah.
thing you can argue that it was moral was that they did not shoot a nuclear bomb. That one I agree, but that's I can argue they don't want to end themselves. But
True.
but to act like they're actually restraining themselves in this conflict.
They
Where's
are
the
easily
proof?
restraining
I'm seeing them
themselves.
They
emptying their
are. They
arsenals.
absolutely are.
So Israel conduct themselves when it comes to bombings. They do this thing called dummy bombing or door knocking, where they'll drop a dud bomb on top of a building to give people time to evacuate. If they were just there to kill civilians, they would have just dropped the bomb already.
So I agree with you that
They
they
call
they
in.
drop brochures.
Yeah, they
and
do calls. They even tell people that they're coming.
Yeah, they drop brochures, but that doesn't happen all the time, and they don't have time. Sometimes they don't give them enough windows. Sometimes somebody claimed 24 hours.
but
That's
the
not
fact
always
they
how
do it
much
at all.
it is. And
Yeah, I
then
was
the
gonna
last
say,
thing
yeah.
I want to mention is where the fuck am I supposed to run? You tell me to get out of the building, but you give me 3 hours. I'm supposed to pick up all my shit and run. Where am I going? Where do you want me
You
to
don't
go
pick
down
up
to
all your
the
shit. If
grocery
I
store?
heard a bomb's coming, I'm gonna be across state line.
I
for
know.
everything
So
touches
after the
that
carpet
ground.
bomb comes, now I'm in the street. So to act like this is a humane thing to do to the people is I disagree.
We're not arguing that's humane. I'm saying it's more humane than the other alternative.
Well, you guys are arguing that we could have been destructive. I'm arguing
Exactly.
no, you are destructive. You are extremely destructive. I'm arguing you're actually getting
but
to the
this is
maximum
more
money
humane
destruction.
than-
And
When
the
I
only
say-
reason you're not
if I-
going higher is because you don't have enough weapons. And you
If
don't
I
want to
said
kill
that-
yourselves.
If I said that Jim Crow laws were less racist than slavery, am I saying that Jim Crow laws weren't racist? The answer is no, right? Whenever I say
No,
they're
no,
being
no,
more
yeah.
humane, I'm not
Yeah.
saying that they're acting
can-
humanely.
Yeah, I guess to somebody that understands, they look less problematic. But yeah, I mean, I guess the connotation is there. They're racist.
Yeah, right. They're still not like they might not be acting in a humane way, but they're still acting in a more humane way than the alternative.
All right, guys. I actually have to get out of here.
Okay.
Any last points, Slat?
You
No,
still need
I
to
mean,
teach
we
me
went
Star
over.
Wars, but yeah.
I'm
Just
actually
send me a
going to
video
Star
to watch.
Wars Unlimited. I have a tournament right now, man. God damn it. I'm
Block
sorry.
in.
Here, man. Did you download everything?
Yeah, I got everything.
Fuck, man.
I don't know how the fuck
I'm
to play,
sorry,
though.
man. I'm gonna be here tomorrow. I'll play with you.
No, you're good. I'll learn how to play at some point.
All right, Isaac. Hey, nice to have you. Hey, Slat. Give me last remarks. Last remarks.
Oh, are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh shit! I just saw you guys in here. I was like, let me join.
Yeah, Isaac. Hey, man. Appreciate you for hanging out with me, man. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I don't know. Fucking Israel is doing all right in the war, I guess. Like I
Great
don't know.
conclusion. Great conclusion.
That's it. Done.
That's your conclusion?
That's it. I don't know what else to say. We went over most of it. And
All right, my brother.
I just want world peace.
like, war kind of sucks. Civilians dying kind of.
I mean, these guys are pretty
That's it.
cool. All right, man. No problem.